Call the February 20th Board of Commission meeting to order. Could everyone please rise and face the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. John, can you call the roll?
Josh Etherly.
Here.
Monty Gross.
Here.
Mike Evans.
Here.
Jeff Lorenz.
Here.
Glenn Renner.
Here. All right. Do we have a motion? We have a quorum. Do we have a motion to approve the January 16th City Commission meeting minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the February 8th special called City Commission meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. Do we have a motion to approve the February 20th, 2020 City Commission agenda? We do have one item to add to that. It is new business item 12F, and it is motion to amend the budget in the amount of $38,400 to purchase a Mini X and a skid steer for the streets department. All right. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Announcements from commissioners. Jeff, what you got?
Nothing.
Glenn?
I'm without anything. First.
No announcements.
I'm good.
We had another one of our city-wide group runs on Saturday, and a bunch of people showed up. We had coffee at Sky King, and so have another one in March. Everyone should come out and walk or run or do whatever you want to do that gets down the sidewalk. You know.
Heard good things about it.
Yeah, it was good. It was cold, but good. Community input and concerns. If you've got something you'd like to say to the commission, step up to the podium there and state your name and address and speak. You've always got something to say.
Well, I really didn't, but I was just reminded about something. My name is Robert Sanders. I'm 225 Woodlands Drive. Can anybody give us an update on the sidewalk project out in the Woodlands? Where it stands? Where it's going? Will I still be alive when it happens?
I hope so. John can probably give you a better, well, theoretically, we're not supposed to, I guess.
Well, that's true. I'm sorry. That's all I have.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Put it in discussion.
We'll put it in other. Maybe you can give us an update in other.
Yeah.
All right. Steve, you got it? Yeah.
I don't remember my address.
I was putting you on the spot. I mean, you're never there, so it makes sense.
We'll take your word for it.
All right. All right. If there's no more community input, do we have everyone seen the department reports? Is there anything that needs to be added?
No, sir.
All right. Legal updates?
I'll be attending, well, I guess it will just be me attending the Tennessee Municipal Attorneys Association CLE next week. And so I'm sure it will be full of lots of juicy tidbits about what our legislators are planning for us this session. And so I'll be happy to report on that at our next meeting.
Sounds good. I'm always excited to hear that. We have no unfinished business, so we'll move on to new business. Item A is motion to approve allowing Kingston Springs Scout Troop 594 to operate the concession stands at Burns Park and City Park for recreational league soccer and the town-sponsored events.
The board approved allowing the Scouts to operate the concession stand at last year's soccer season, and this motion allows them to continue with soccer as well as other town-sponsored events like movies in the park.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item B is motion to approve Resolution 20-002 authorizing appropriations for financial aid of the ARC, a nonprofit organization whose services benefit the general welfare of the residents of this municipality. Used every year. Do we have a motion to approve Resolution 20-002?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
What was that amount?
How much is the amount? Yeah.
This is not even the amount. This is just to
Just to authorize that we would do it.
would do it. Yes.
Okay.
You all
Gotcha.
appropriated $4,000.
We did some, I don't remember.
Yes, more than previous.
We did more. Yeah, it was in the.
Yep, we compromised on
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. Item C is a motion to approve a donation of a pizza oven to the Kingston Springs Volunteer Fire Department by.
I'm not sure we ever took a vote on.
Oh, did we? Oh,
I have to
that. More discussion?
I
Oh,
derailed.
we did, okay, sorry. We had a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes, sorry about that. All right, so we can move on to the Kingston Springs Volunteer Fire Department pizza oven, and I think we saw the Facebook post about this, but do you have anything to add, John? It's
No,
just,
Mr. Verhoeven, would like to donate a countertop pizza oven and some frozen pizza crusts to the Kingston Springs Volunteer Fire Department for their use, and it will be kept at Fire Hall 1.
Great.
Is there a logo on this?
There is not.
Advertising free, so, all right. Do we have a motion to approve the donation?
I motion in favor of the pizza.
It's very unpopular to vote against pizza, by the way, guys. I won't follow you.
Second.
All right, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Motion to approve ordinance 20-001, de-annexation of a portion of property within the town of Kingston Springs limits, 1082 Old Brush Creek Road, map 99, parcel 189 to Cheatham County. You want to go over this and move?
Sure. You have for you the ordinance that I have prepared at the request of the town manager. Our office does have some concerns about you all enacting this ordinance. I know that I think the planner has recommended de-annexation of the property because of the person who owns it. It's actually owned by an entity, I'm sorry, but the representative of the entity wanting to pull a building permit. And I believe Ms. Armstrong has indicated that because part of the property lies in the flood zone, that would preclude us from issuing a permit. A couple of different things going on with this property, and forgive me if I'm repeating something you already know, but the property has parts of it both in Kingston Springs and the county. My understanding is largely what is in the county is, or the floodplain is largely in the county section. There appears to be maybe a small sliver that might be floodplain related. Where he is wanting to construct the home appears to be up on top of a higher elevation situation. So I believe, it is my opinion, that in my office, that there could be other ways to assist him in getting to the ends that he wants to get to without violating any of our ordinances. For example, he could divide this into different parcels. You're not allowed to have two homes on one parcel anyway, and it appears that there already is an improvement on there. So that could be one option there. Or to have possibly a no-rise certificate done showing that where he intends to put the place or construct the improvement will not be in a floodway, things along that line. Our concern is the one you're letting go of a tax base. Now granted, y'all have not been collecting taxes here because of an oversight out of the assessor's office. They've apparently not been billed the tax for the city. Moving forward, they would be if it remained in. Number two, it appears to have an agricultural use, so there may be some issues. As you all know, agriculture is given pretty high favor in the state, so if anything's related to an agricultural use, usually that they can do pretty much what they want to on that.
What
Number three,
agricultural use is it, you know?
I believe it's in there some farming that goes on there, and then it's an event center that's,
Yes,
you know,
it's zoned agriculture on the county side.
Okay.
But Kingston Springs does not
Does
have
not
an
have a
agricultural
designated
zone.
agricultural zoning.
and that is one thing. There are two different zones going on with the property here. One other thing to think about is if you de-annex this piece, the part, and let me jump into the explanation too, because we've had several maps going back and forth about just what exactly we're annexing. Attached to the ordinance that I prepared, you'll see a map where I had cross-hatched the part that I believe to be in the town line. And I had pulled that map off the comptroller's website, and we realized that that map was different than the map that I believe, the GIS map. And so we got to dig a little bit further to find out why in the world our boundary lines looked different. And apparently, the comptroller's website is where Esri, that's the software firm that does the mapping, had kind of, they'd taken census data and kind of massaged the line a little bit. So the true line, I went to the assessor's office, the true line is actually this green line.
And that's a separate sheet in your folder.
That's the true line.
That's the true line. So the whole parcel is the red.
And that's represented in this one.
Yeah, so this is, roughly there. I don't think it included,
Oh.
well, yeah, right down there. So, yeah, so that's, yes.
Yeah.
So that would be basically what had been provided from GIS, but we have confirmed that. So if y'all de-annexed it, this piece between this red line and that green line would be going out of the town. And then this little part over here, this peninsula looking thing here, would be going out of the town. What that would, by default, it would cede back to the county and it would be wholly their parcel. But then you will have a gap in your urban growth boundary. It does not, when you take a piece of property out of the city limits, it does not automatically bump it over into your urban growth plan. Your urban growth plan was set and fixed by the council. Remember, all the bodies, all the municipalities, the county, they all have to get together and convene and agree on urban growth boundaries from everybody. And that's a set and defined line. Booting something out of one municipal entity does not automatically absorb it into the other. So we would have to reconvene that group. If you wanted to have the same kind of control over that as you do all the other pieces of property that abut the municipal lines, you're going to have to reconvene that group, go through the formal process of amending your urban growth boundary in order to pull that into that and maintain the same kind of control that you have all the other bordering property.
Well, I think somebody told him that, at least the story we heard the first time we saw this in the workshop was, that somebody told him he couldn't divide it up into parcels.
Yeah, the subdivide was not possible.
Yeah. I don't
I don't
know.
know.
But, you
No,
know,
we have the details from it.
I mean, because that would be preferable to everybody.
Yeah, that's-
I mean,
that
we
seems
would
like that
do
would
in a
solve-
heartbeat, so.
Well, I mean, and like I said, I couldn't understand why, if there's already a home on there, how you could even get a permit, because we don't allow 2 homes on one parcel to begin with.
Okay,
So,
well, that's another problem.
But does the county allow 2 homes on one parcel? No.
they're not, technically, no.
No, so.
No
so
one asked.
Either way, they'd have to subdivide this property if they want to put
That would
another
be
home
my
on the property.
Well, it'd be easier for us if he did it along the county, along the city line,
Representative.
and then build across it, and then that part's taxable again, and we don't have to convene all the municipalities to mess with the urban zone.
Right.
There is a representative here from the property.
If there are questions.
Sure.
Well, I think the goal of the commission obviously is to make this happen.
Yeah.
Right, right, and
Obviously.
yeah, I don't think that's anybody's means, but we just want to
Wanna
make
make
sure
sure
that
we
it's
do it the right
doing
way.
effectively,
Right,
yes, yes.
That would cause a lot of headaches to go back to the urban.
So what you may want to do is table this possibly till next meeting and have the planner look at it with respect to subdividing. You know, what are we missing that what we
Yeah.
can't divide the lot. Because it would appear to have enough acreage in it where you could divide it. All you have to have is 5 acres or greater to subdivide without actually going through the subdivision process. So create a whole different parcel.
Did Sharon say anything about why we couldn't subdivide this? I think we
Well, I was
briefly
gonna
discussed
ask-
it in planning, and I can't
I was going to
remember.
ask the representative if he had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you wish to open that
Do you mind-
discussion?
He's on the agenda
Yeah.
essentially, so he can speak.
Right. Have you addressed the subdivision question yet?
Not specifically, no. I mean,
Okay.
I think essentially what happened is in starting to explore the permitting of a home, I talked to the county, and the county said, you're in the city. Then I talked to the city, and the city had no record of my existence. So, I mean, I'm in design and permitting purgatory. And I think the thought was that all of the activities that we're doing out there are agricultural in nature.
And I don't. Do you mind stating your name?
Sorry, Jody Cummings. And obviously, it's just a small portion of the property that's within the municipal boundary. And there's no, I was told that, well, let me take one step back. First, I was told that the process was to cede development rights to the county first, and then subsequently request de-annexation on top of that. I was told that in order for the city to get a permit through the city, I had to be on city water. Well, I don't have city water or city sewer, and it's not feasible to bring water to that property.
And I believe
So what
that
is
would
that?
be, so,
Yeah.
because we have the sprinkler ordinance, and thank you for reminding me of that part of it too. But the opinion in our office is if you were requiring something by ordinance that physically could not be done, that is creating, effectively a taking of the property. So you can seek a variance, for
Because it's-
compliance with, because it's effectively an impossibility. So, to get that done. So that would be another way that,
We could, okay.
that we could keep it within the city and still properly get things
You
done.
know how many acres are in the city limit? Up at the top, that's where you
I
want to
think it's
put
18.
the house,
18
right?
acres?
Is that one?
18?
I'm not 100% sure because we have conflicting maps, but
Where's the line?
it's a zigzaggy line that doesn't seem to have much.
How much is the total parcel, city and county?
Well, we actually have two parcels that are contiguous.
Okay.
The total is about 65.
Okay, yeah. So it makes sense at about that upper piece where there's enough elevation to put a home. So
That's correct.
it would be big enough.
The original building site thought within the county, but for a number of reasons, aesthetic, but primarily cost driven, we thought this was a better location. And then all of a sudden, we said, "Oh gosh, this is now in the city."
So that would be our recommendation, is to table this.
So we can figure out which option's the best
So that
option.
we can make sure that he can accomplish his end and we
Right.
can make sure that the town is protected and without opening up Pandora's box to a bunch of other issues. Because, like I said, the de-annexation is going to be a 2 reading. If you choose to go that route, it'll be 2 readings. Plus, then you're going to have to go through that big, long, sorted process of amending the urban growth boundary lines.
Before he can start?
The 2
He could
readings.
go ahead,
On
2
the 2
readings at
readings.
least. He could probably go ahead and pull the permit, but you all wouldn't have any control over.
Right, so whatever's done is then grandfathered.
Right.
All right.
Is there any other property that the town of Kingston Springs missed that we?
Yeah, we might want to make sure we're not missing other things here. Good time to,
Part of the property lies within the town limits and part of the property lies in the county?
or property that
Is there
we
any
don't
other
know.
situations
That we're not
like this that might
collecting?
in
Oh,
the
that
future?
we're not, I know there are other parcels that are split, but I don't know if we are or are not collecting taxes on those.
I hope this will be a red flag that we need to,
And,
Yeah, we can figure that
and I
out.
did have a
Yep.
question, if we did de-annex, does that create any kind of precedence that could make
No.
a
No, I don't think it would create any precedent because each one of those we are looking at on a case-by-case basis with very specific set of facts to each case. Now, we'll tell you, once you de-annex something, you're not going to pull it back in the future.
yeah, it's not going back.
and
It's
the town literally got smaller on our term.
Exactly, yeah.
We discussed,
Okay.
we sat and formed.
All right, well then, do a motion to table this till next meeting. So we'll-
Motion to table this until the next meeting, please.
do a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Motion to approve, motion to approve addition of the financial director position to the town of Kingston Springs. This would be, this would be Debbie's future position that we've discussed. Debbie, you have anything you'd like to say? No?
I mean, just in essence, what you're doing is just taking what I do. and
Formalizing it and splitting it and formalizing the second position. All right. Do we have a motion?
And just for clarity, this is just creating the position. This is not
Yes,
entering
correct.
into the agreement.
Correct.
Correct.
Motion to create the position.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. All right, item F is the motion to amend the budget in the amount of $38,400 for the purchase of the Mini-X and skid steer for the street department.
I'll explain, hopefully this won't be too convoluted, but there are funds of $110,600 allocated in the streets department budget for the purchase of new equipment, and we tentatively tagged that new equipment as a new Mini-X. new truck, trailer, and then a leaf vac. We had discussed the purchase of a skid steer, but decided to defer that until next year's budget. To offset some of these funds, $60,000 is budgeted as a revenue for the sale of the town's JVC X5000, lovingly known as the big yellow machine, to help with the purchase of this Mini X. However, to maximize the return on recouping money for the sale of that JVX, we negotiated a potential arrangement with Mid-South Equipment where we got the JVX to purchase both a Mini X and a skid steer for $124,474 total for both machines, and return our JVC for a $50,000 credit, basically turning in our used car to buy 2 new cars, leaving the cost of both machines with that credit at $74,474. We won't be purchasing the new truck that was tagged with that money in the streets department this year, so the purchase of this new equipment will not exceed the line item in the budget for the streets department. However, using the JCB as part of this arrangement will negate the $60,000 budgeted as potential revenue for the outright sale of the machine. So the motion is to amend the budget to offset the revenue that is in the budget for the sale of the machine and the purchase of the additional machine, which is the skid steer. So basically,
Estimate the revenue basically, because we didn't know how much we were going to be able to get for it.
Correct.
Right? We were salvage, but we were hoping for 60, but that didn't mean we were going to get 60.
right, and if, as we were going down this road looking to sell it on the open market, it didn't look like we were going to come anywhere close to 60.
Yeah, that 50, as we talked about,
Exactly.
Is it-
Yes,
It's a better
that's
deal.
probably the best thing we're
And
ever
we're
done.
keeping the trailer, we have the trailer. We have the trailer.
We found a used trailer for $4,100.
What about the leaf blower?
That leaf vac was already purchased back in the fall, and it's turned out to be a
Pretty good investment.
Beast.
So we're really not changing anything.
No, we're
What are we
just a
adjusting?
little bit. We're adjusting
The 10,000.
10 grand hit on.
We're taking the hit on the revenue side. We're actually purchasing both machines this year instead of one machine this year and one machine next year. But we still feel like
But no truck.
no truck. But we still feel like this is the best option for us to get rid of the yellow machine that we don't use for 2 machines that we've tested, and they are very happy with.
You did test them, the test went well?
Yes, they brought, Mid-South Equipment brought them earlier this week. We had them for 3 days, and they gave them a pretty good run through.
Now that they're scratched up, can we get a discount for demo? Just kidding.
But there is, Josh, I mean, it's a $38,000.
That's what I was trying to figure out, what increase in the budget, where does that?
Well, you have to look at it like this, it's like you had $60,000 budgeted to come in for revenue. And you had $110,000 on the expenditure line. Well, that 110 was actually going to be reduced by 60 because you were anticipating getting that money in. So your actual cost was only going to be around 50,000. Well, now it's going to be 89,000. So it's a $38,000 difference there.
Well, it was gonna be 50,000, assuming we could get 60, which we figured out we couldn't get anyhow.
Right.
So
But it's still in your
But
budget
still
like
the
that, so
budget.
you've got
that's
to
why we have
adjust.
to amend it. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Which we would have amended anyway, because we didn't get 60 to
Yeah.
start with, right?
If
Well,
we-
no, you don't have to amend it if you don't get it, but
Okay.
in this case, that revenue was tied to this expenditure.
Yeah, gotcha, okay.
All right. We have a motion to amend the budget for $38,400.
I move that we amend the budget, 38,000, whatever you said, 450.
400.
400.
Second.
Any more discussion? Roll call. John?
Josh Hadley,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Lee Remick,
Yes.
Jeff Lemire.
Yes.
All right. Item 13, surplus items. We have from the fire department, a Husky 60-gallon air compressor to discard. The fire department has 15 Streamlight light boxes and old flashlights to discard. Police department is 6 Sony, Dell, and HP laptops to wipe and discard.
Or sell, if I could add that.
Yes, I understand that there's some of these going to put them in government.
There's a possibility that we can sell some.
Possibly
of
can
these.
sell, okay.
Everything's being discarded.
And wastewater department is 2 Smith and Loveless 25 horsepower pumps to discard and 3 Casco decorative fountains to discard. Do we have a motion to?
Is there more?
Oh, that's it. That's the end of the list.
Motion to discard or auction.
Surplus. You can just say surplus. There we
Motion
go.
to surplus.
All right, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. On other for discussion only, can we please provide a update on the sidewalks for
Harpeth
Mr.
View
Sanders?
Trail.
And Woodlands Drive.
There are two sidewalk projects that involve Harpeth View Trail and, in effect, Woodlands Drive. The first is the Safe Routes to School project that is a federal grant that will hopefully commence this summer. They are in the right-of-way stage, which is the stage right before construction is bid. So that'll go from East Kingston Spring, along Harpeth View Trail from East Kingston Springs Roads to Cedar Court. Then the town also obtained a TAP grant, a Transportation Alternatives Program grant, that will continue the sidewalk from, along Harpeth View Trail from Cedar Court along to the other end at East Kingston Springs Road, and then back down East Kingston Springs Road to the existing sidewalk, and then from East Kingston Springs Road up Woodlands Drive to Harpeth View Trail.
That's your sidewalk.
That's in the very early stages. It's in the NEPA stage, which is the environmental stage, and that's of the 5 stages of TDOT projects, that's by far the longest. But the environmental stage can also include portions of design, so even though it's a long stage, it shortens some of the others. But there's a lot of agencies that have to tie in together on that environmental stage. We're guessing that if the Safe Routes to School project starts this summer, as we anticipate, as far as shovels in the ground, then the TAP grant project will move hopefully a little quicker than this has, and probably be 12 to 18 months behind it.
That answer your question?
You have 12 to 18 months left, Bob?
He's just visiting. He felt uncomfortable.
You gotta cross the street to get to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Both of you.
yeah.
I'm not too concerned about my street. You got an issue.
It's not on our side.
Oh, your street's not bad. I've run down it all the time.
Right.
All right, is it, I guess the only reminder we have is the recreational soccer league season starts on the 14th of next month. I'll be running a 50K that day.
And the last day to sign up for soccer?
Was Saturday, but we are continuing to take applications until Brandy orders uniforms, probably first of next week.
Excellent.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, second. Aye.